everyone. I am about to introduce to you author Jilly MacMillan, and we're going to be talking about her latest book. It just came out last week, and it's called I Know You Know. And I always say this, and it may be true, maybe not, but boy, those English authors can write a thriller, okay? I love this book so much, and we're going to talk about it. Her writing style is so unique. I just love it. And this is the first book I've read by her, even though she has written, I think this is her fifth book. But anyway, guys, here is Jilly. Hi everyone, I am so excited because I am speaking with author Jilly MacMillan, and we are talking about her brand new book called I Know You Know. And you know what, Jilly, I forgot to ask you if you have it, but everybody saw the cover of the book. Oh, you do? Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Can everybody see it?
Yay! You know, I say this all the time, and I probably get in a lot of trouble with the women authors in the U.S., but man, nobody writes a thriller like you guys over in England, okay? You guys, it's like, I don't even know if you are, and then I look and I'm like, oh yeah, of course you're in England. And I don't even know what the difference is, except for they're always like, I'm just hanging on. You keep me going. And, you know, so I love this book so much. And I want to talk about the title because I love the title. As soon as I saw this book, which was like a couple of weeks ago, it's like right away, you're like, I have to read that book. I know you, because it's like, I know you know. I love that title.
The title I took a long time to come up with. It was one of those ones where we went round the houses between me and my agent and the publishers here in the UK and in the US, and we came up with so many and rejected so many. Nothing fit, nothing was right. And then eventually I think we brainstormed a big list, and everybody slept on it and woke up the next day and kind of said, I know you know, that's the one. That's perfect. We were so happy.
It is perfect. And when you look at the cover, because I do want to talk about the cover too, and I don't know if it's a giveaway, so I'm going to let you decide whether it's a giveaway, because I kept going back to it as I was reading it, because it's like, it's a woman, okay, and it's like, you keep looking at it, and, you know, so, I don't know.
I think it's a good cover. I mean, the book is about secrets, and I think the woman on the cover very much suggests that she's got something to hide. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like, as I'm reading it, it kind of fit different. You know, you think, oh, well, who is it? That's like, there's lots of people that have something to hide. So, you know, with this book, it isn't just about one secret. So.
No, it's about many secrets over many, many years as well, which always intrigues me, how people change the way they feel about their secrets, and those secrets change shape and change their potential to hurt or not hurt other people as time goes on. And I think that's fascinating.
Absolutely. I'm going to let you give the little, you know, blurb of what it's about so I know how far, because I don't want to give anything away about this book.
So I Know You Know is about a guy called Cody Swift. He's a filmmaker, and he was very traumatized in his youth by the murder of his two best friends, who were killed when they were both 11 years old. So 20 years on, Cody, something happens which makes Cody think that he should return to his hometown of Bristol in the UK and look into the murders. They were solved. A man went to prison, but the questions still remain. So Cody's big idea is that he's going to create a podcast out of what he discovers. And this is where it gets interesting, because a lot of people don't want him to do it. They don't want him to investigate, and they don't want him to share what he learns. And that includes the detective on the original investigation, the mother of one of the murdered boys, and other people who you will discover if you read the book.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about this book, was that podcast. It was so interesting to go back and forth. I mean, we do a couple of different points of view, but when you're doing the parts with the podcast, and it's kind of like, that's where we find out Cody's story, is that he's revealing as we go along, and I don't know, maybe because I have one, maybe because I have a YouTube channel, but I found that fascinating. And then I saw like some reviews and people were saying they loved it too. So that was an amazing idea.
Thank you very much. I can't claim complete credit for that idea because I came up with it along with my agent. We were talking about the book as I was developing it, but it was such a fantastic thing to have in the book from the point of view of it gave me an excuse to listen to tons and tons of true crime podcasts, which I love.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
yeah, I would think you would because you could probably get a lot of ideas from those.
So many ideas. And one thing I really love about them is they very often you get to hear the voices of people who are touched by crime who you wouldn't normally hear from if you're just reading about it online or in the papers. And I think that's fascinating. And often they interview families years after a crime happened, and you get to learn how it's affected them through time. And all of that stuff I wanted to bring into I Know You Know.
Yeah, the first chapter, which isn't a giveaway because it's the first chapter, but you start with a crime that happens 20 years later, I guess, than the original crime. And
Yes.
so it kind of like that's where we start off. And first of all, I love a good first chapter. I mean, what made you think that that was like to set everybody up? You came up with like, oh, let's go to the present and then let's go like that was brilliant.
We wanted to sort of slip between the two time frames so that the readers could see the characters literally kind of in 1 minute in today and then in the next moment back in the past. And it was a Stephen King book that inspired me to do it that way. I love Stephen King. So I was like, that'll do.
I'm afraid to read Stephen King. I've never read one of his books. Because I usually don't like really, but I know they're not all like terrifying, right?
No, I haven't read all of them because I'm a little bit scared as well, but I have read some of them.
Yeah, and I love the character Jess. I mean, that's one of the points of view. She was the mom of one of the boys, and you get really into her story, and which was fascinating, to see from the perspective of a mom who's had a son that was murdered and how she deals with it. And did you have a lot of fun writing her character?
I did. I was fascinated by her also as soon as she began to kind of come to life on the page. She was tough to write because, I thought a lot about what being a mother meant to her and how I don't think it's a spoiler to say she doesn't do it very well in the past sections of the story, and this is one of the issues around her son's murder. And she's not proud of how she mothered then, and there are things that she wants to keep hidden about that time. But when we meet her in the present day, she's put it all behind her, and she's had a fresh start. She's doing great. She's a great mom. She's got a new family. And I really got into that and the idea of how somebody can find a second chance and reinvent, and then what happens if all of that is threatened.
Yeah, I was fascinated by because we have children, so it's like, what would you do? It was her only child, and then she, and that's why I think that I just, as a woman, you just kind of I attached myself to her a lot, and I loved her growth and her because I was like, I admired her,
I did too, yeah. And I was happy about that because I wanted to slightly challenge how we feel about characters in this book and challenge what we expect when we meet a certain character. And she was a really fun way to do that.
Yeah. Well, is this your fifth book?
It's my fourth book.
Fourth book. Okay. Yeah. I knew you had written others, and I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go read the others.
Thank you.
How long have you been writing?
Only about 5 or 6 years. I've come to it really late in life. I worked in London when I was younger in the art industry because I trained as an art historian and I taught photography, and then I quit to raise my kids. And I was at that point where I needed to go and get a job because the youngest had started school and we needed some money. And I thought, you know what, I think I can just take 6 months and try and write a book, because I'd never have quit a job to try and write a book. I wasn't brave enough. But in that 6 months, I wrote a draft of my first novel, which is called What She Knew. And I got lucky. I got an agent, and here I am. I feel very fortunate.
Did you know that it was thrillers? Because thrillers are so hard to write. I mean, not that other books aren't. I'm not going to say, but to keep you turning that page and to keep you on the edge. I tell you, I read this on Kindle, okay? And Kindle has a new feature for everybody out there who does not know this, where instead of flipping pages, you now can scroll. Okay. And I don't know why this has changed my life, but it has. And I can, I know, the weirdest thing. And I've been telling everybody, and I can read so much faster. There's something about scrolling instead of
Ooh,
flipping each
okay.
page. And I read as fast as I could read. Okay, as fast as it was possible, and I know that's sometimes hard for authors to hear because it takes you so long to write it that you're like
That
here.
makes me happy. It makes me
Okay,
happy. It means I'm doing a good job.
I could not. I could not read it fast enough. And so, did you like know that you were going to have like a knack for being able to get people to turn pages that fast?
No, I think I was actually very naive about what it was going to take. I did it because I love reading those kind of books. So I have a hunger for them, just like you, I guess. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to write one of those books you pick up at the airport or in the store, and you just go, you know?
Yeah.
So off I went, and I dove in, and my goodness, I made so many mistakes with that first book I wrote, the first draft of that. It was shocking, and it took me at least a year to rewrite it so it was up to scratch for publication. Because it was hard. It was so much harder than I thought.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I always think the hardest part is like the chapters to keep them because thrillers chapters need to be kind of short. They
Mm-hmm.
can't be real extended because you got to keep that story moving quickly. And especially when you're going, back and forth, you got time periods to keep track of, you've got characters to keep track of, and to keep everybody, on the edge of their seat with all that going on, I think is just, that's such a talent.
Oh, well, thank you. I usually fall back on the reader part of myself because I think of myself as a reader first
Yes.
because I came so late to writing. And I just ask myself every time I finish a section, would you turn the page? Would I turn the page?
Right.
And if the answer is no, it goes or it gets rewritten. It has to be a yes.
Yeah.
And read says yes or no very firmly.
Well, you've definitely. I mean, if you just started 5 years ago and this is your fourth book, I mean, that's quite a pace for yourself.
Yes. Do I look tired?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm sure everybody's after you. Like they're like, okay, write another. Now this one's out. This one came out last week. It's been huge. I'm sure you've been very busy. With everything that is entails to do. But are you writing another one at the same time as you're off, like doing book
Yes,
signings?
yes.
You are. Yes.
I am finishing the edits on the next one, which is called The Nanny, and that'll be out next year. It's a really exciting one.
Okay, well, you have to let me know because I'll read it early. We can talk. I love reading thrillers so much. And, they're just, everybody's loving thrillers right now. I mean, it's like we can't get enough of them.
It's escapism, I think. It's sort of exciting escapism.
Yes. Sometimes I find myself like, when especially like this kind of book, I get so into the psychological, part of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, my brain must have empty places that it just needs filled.
I'm the same. I'm so the same.
But then I think about your brain as you're writing it. I'm like, where does she get this stuff?
True. Yeah, no, we won't go there.
Go to
Not
that.
going to reveal all the dark places.
Oh, well, anyway, hold up that book again before I let you go so everybody can see this cover. I don't know, I love faces on covers, but I love the fact that that you can't really see her. It's a girl. You can't really see, it's a nondescript girl. So
And I love the hair. I don't know if it's showing
I
up.
do too. I love that the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. I love that. Well, thank you so much. And please, I will, that whenever the next one's coming out, please let me know. And, I'll definitely read it for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will have all of Jilly's links listed below. Like I said, you can already get this book. I will put the Amazon link down there that you can just go right there, one click, and you got the book, which I love so much and I use all the time. So, anyway, thank you so much. Have a great day, Jilly.
Thank you to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm back, and oh my gosh, was she awesome? I'm telling you, she can write a thriller, and I read them in like batches, and then I'm like, okay, I need to break. need to step back. But this book, I told you, like, I got the Kindle and I can read so much faster now. It has opened up a whole new world. I'm like, how many books a week can I read now? It's crazy. But anyway, go get this book. You will love it. Like I said, her links are listed below. And thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit like if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. Thanks, guys.